November 20th, 2025. The Great Thanksgiving Swap. Cara's home glows with cozy fall colors and a hint of sparkle. A long dining table set with a burgundy runner, golden leaves, flickering candles, and pine cone name cards waits for guests. Gionni has prepared a full feast. Roasted turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, casseroles, roasted vegetables, cranberry sauce, and apple crumble and pumpkin pies for dessert. Pumpkins, gourds, and fairy lights form a warm centerpiece, and the house smells of turkey and cinnamon. Cara greets guests in an orange wrap dress, her hair loosely pinned with soft curls. A playful knock announces Michelle arriving first in a red cardigan and cream blouse. Cara hugs her and brings her into the warmth of the house. "Happy Friendsgiving," she says before handing over her bubbling sweet potato casserole. Cara laughs warmly. "Happy Friendsgiving," she replies with equal excitement. "You look absolutely lovely in that red cardigan. Please come in. Make yourself comfortable." Michelle smiles at the compliment as she steps inside, taking in the cozy atmosphere of Cara's home. "Thanks, Cara. Your house looks great. I can't believe we've got everyone coming. I'm so excited to see the whole group." Cara smiles as she watches Michelle set her dish on the tasting table, admiring the delicious-looking casserole. That sweet potato casserole looks amazing," she remarks, heading over to the bar to grab Michelle a drink. "I'm so glad you can make it. It's going to be an amazing night. I can already feel it." Michelle takes a seat at the counter. "Thanks so much for hosting again, Cara. You always have the best events." "It's my pleasure," Cara smiles, leaning on the counter next to Michelle. "I love any excuse to get everyone together. It's been way too long since we've all been in one place." Michelle nods, taking a sip of her drink. "I know, it feels like we're always so busy, but this is the perfect opportunity to catch up and enjoy good food and company." She looks around the room, taking in the warm lighting and cozy fall decorations. As Michelle set her wine down on the side table, Cara heard the quick double chime of the bell and smiled, already sensing Liz's efficient rhythm. When she opened the door, Liz stood there briskly, her tailored charcoal coat buttoned against the chill, a plaid scarf tossed casually around her neck. She greeted Cara with a sly grin. "Happy Friendsgiving," she said warmly. In her hand, she carried a dish of roasted Brussels sprouts. "Hey, Liz, you look beautiful." Cara ushered her inside and guided Liz toward the side table by the bar where the dish joined Michelle's casserole. "Can I get you something to drink?" "I'll have a glass of Pinot," Liz called out to Cara as she headed over to the bar. "Oh, look who's here." Michelle turned around, immediately perking up at the sight of Liz. Michelle and Liz exchanged their greetings. Cara hands her the glass of wine. "Here you go, your favorite." Liz takes the glass, raising it slightly. "Thanks." She takes a generous sip, savoring the rich flavor. Tanya and Nicole tumbled in together, elbowing each other as they laughed, their entrance more performance than arrival. Tanya and Nicole tumbled in together, elbowing each other as they laughed, their entrance more performance than arrival. Tanya and Nicole tumbled in together, elbowing each other as they laughed, their entrance more performance than arrival. Tanya wore a mustard yellow sweater dress, while Nicole wore a denim jacket over a floral blouse, her scarf slipping off one shoulder in the commotion. Tanya and Nicole tumbled in together, elbowing each other as they laughed, their entrance more performance than arrival. Tanya and Nicole tumbled in together, elbowing each other as they laughed, their entrance more performance than arrival. Tanya wore a mustard yellow sweater dress, and Nicole had on a denim jacket over a floral blouse, her scarf slipping off one shoulder in the chaos. They gave Cara playful bows and then revealed their dishes, Tanya's warm, creamy stovetop mac and cheese, and Nicole's baked one with a golden cheddar crust. Cara couldn't help but burst into laughter as Tanya and Nicole made their dramatic entrance, their playful energy contagious. "Always the showstoppers, aren't you?" she teased, leading them towards the side table. Tanya grinned, holding up her pot of creamy mac and cheese. "We try our best. Can't let the other guests outdo us in the presentation department." Nicole proudly presented her baked mac and cheese, the golden cheddar crust glistening under the warm lights. "And we both know this is the best dish here." "Can I get you both a drink?" Cara asked, moving towards the bar. Tanya nodded eagerly. Yes please. A glass of wine sounds perfect." Nicole chimed in, a playful glint in her eyes. "Make mine a mimosa." As Tanya and Nicole entered the living room, they were immediately greeted by Michelle and Liz, who were standing together, glasses of wine in hand. "Look who finally made it," Michelle teased, feeding a dramatic sigh. "I was beginning to think you got lost." Tanya rolled her eyes playfully, nudging Nicole with her elbow. "Oh, please, we're right on time, as always." Gionni is still upstairs, fussing with his outfit in front of the mirror. He's chosen a crisp button-down in deep navy, sleeves rolled just enough to look effortless, paired with dark jeans and polished boots. The faint sound of the doorbell drifts up, and after a quick spritz of cologne, he descends the staircase with a mix of confidence and playful timing. His steps are deliberate, echoing lightly against the wood, and he pauses halfway down to call out, "I thought I heard my favorite ladies!" Michelle laughs. Liz rolls her eyes with a grin, and by the time he reaches the foyer, he's already opening his arms for hugs. He greets them warmly, complimenting Liz's scarf before leaning in to peek at their dishes with mock seriousness. "Ah, the sprouts and the casserole, the true heroes of the evening." "Well, look at you," Cara teases, eyes flickering over the crisp navy shirt and polished boots. "I was expecting you to sneak down in your old hoodie, but you've outdone yourself." She steps closer, brushing a hand against his sleeve as if to test the effort, and then adds warmly, "You clean up nicely, Mr. Friendsgiving." The girls laugh, Michelle chiming in with agreement, while Liz smirks. "Don't let it go to your head." Cara's compliment lands as both playful and genuine, anchoring Gianni's entrance in the cozy chaos of the foyer. Gionni headed over to the oven, peeking inside to check on the turkey roasting inside. "Smells amazing," he remarked with a nod of approval. Cara opened the door with a grand sweep, welcoming Whitney and Kelly with a warm smile. "There you two are, just in time." Gionni looked up. "Ladies, about time you showed up." Whitney smiled warmly, exchanging an air kiss and hug with Gionni. "We're here, and we brought your favorite, Gionni, green bean casserole." Gionni wrapped an arm around Whitney's shoulders, pulling her into a tight hug. "You guys always know the way to my heart," he joked, releasing her and turning towards Kelly. "And of course, I can't resist your famous green bean casserole." Kelly rolled her eyes playfully. "Oh, we know. You only come for the food, don't you?" she teased, nudging Gionni lightly with her free hand. "He sure does," Cara chuckled in agreement. "He did all the cooking just so he can admire how delicious everything looks when it's set onto the table." Gionni raised his hands. "Hey, a man can have his priorities, right?" Kelly grinned, clearly not buying it. Sure. Keep telling yourself that, Gionni." Cara laughed, enjoying the banter between them all. "Come on, let's go put those dishes on the table. I'm already drooling." Kelly and Whitney set down their dishes in front of their personalized recipe cards on the side table. They poured themselves a glass of red wine and headed into the living room to greet the other girls. Tanya and Nicole were engaged in a conversation about work with Michelle and Liz when they noticed Kelly and Whitney's arrival. Nicole's gaze shifted to the side table, admiring the spread of dishes. "Wow, it seems we've got quite a feast here tonight." Kelly and Whitney exchanged air kisses and warm hugs with the girls, their laughter mingling in the air. "We sure do," Kelly agreed, eyeing the array of dishes on the side table with satisfaction. "We can't have Friendsgiving without a good spread." Liz grinned, taking a sip of her wine. "We should have known you two would bring the best side dishes. I'm starving just looking at everything." "Well, you better save your appetite, Liz," Cara chuckled softly. "We've got plenty more guests and dishes on the way." Liz rolled her eyes playfully, taking another sip of her wine. "Ugh, don't even remind me. I'm already stuffed just thinking about it." Cara laughed, shaking her head in mock exasperation. "You're always complaining, Liz. You know you love indulging as much as the rest of us do." Gionni was in the kitchen, diligently plating up the side dishes and preparing them for the table. As he worked, he hummed to himself, occasionally stealing glances at the clock. He knew the turkey was still a ways away from being fully cooked, and he was trying to pass the time as best as he could. He couldn't help but smirk at the lively chatter coming from the living room, imagining the fun they were all having without him. But he was content doing his part in the kitchen, humming softly and keeping himself busy. Cara was mid-laugh with Liz when a muffled chorus floated in from outside. Brad's booming voice calling, "Delivery!" while Carla's laughter tone chimed in, "Special order for Cara!" The theatrics made her grin instantly, and she hurried to the door, already shaking her head at their antics. Carla wore a soft cream sweater while Brad stood beside her in a flannel shirt, casual and confident. Carla leaned in to greet Cara with a kiss on the cheek before carefully handing over a glass dish of cranberry orange sauce. Brad followed, setting down his platter of smoked turkey thighs, the savory aroma curling into the air. "You guys never disappoint with your grand entrances," Cara chuckled, taking the dishes from them. "We aim to please," Carla replied with a grin, her laughter warm and contagious. As Cara moved towards the kitchen, Brad and Carla followed. They were immediately met with greetings from the other guests. Carla found herself drawn into conversation with Michelle, Liz, and Whitney, their voices in a soft but lively hum. "It smells amazing in here," she noted, casting an appreciative glance into the kitchen where Gionni was tending to the turkey. Cara was still grinning at Brad's delivery routine when the next sound reached her ears. There they were, Carole in a navy dress and Tom beside her in a blazer, polished and composed. Tom extended out a firm handshake, while Cara swept in with open arms, enveloping Cara in a warm hug. In her hands, Carole carried a dish of sage mushroom stuffing. Tom proudly held out his gravy boat. Cara guided them both inside, directing their offerings to the side table by the bar, where the ritual continued. As Carole and Tom made their way into the house, they were greeted with a chorus of cheers and warm greetings. Cara moves freely across the hallway to the foyer to greet more guests as she anticipated their arrivals. Opening the door, she found Rebecca standing there in a soft lavender cardigan, her arms carefully balanced around a pumpkin pie. "Hi, happy Friendsgiving," she said gently, her voice carrying both warmth and a touch of reserve. Cara's expression brightened, her laugh easing into tenderness as she welcomes Rebecca inside, guiding her toward the side table by the bar. The pie was placed carefully among the growing lineup beneath recipe cards, its inviting scent adding another layer of comfort to the ensemble. Cara smiled warmly, immediately drawn to Rebecca's soft tone and gentle manner. "Happy Friendsgiving, Rebecca," she replied, guiding her towards the side table. "You brought the pumpkin pie. It smells amazing." Rebecca blushed slightly, a soft smile playing on her lips. "Thanks. It's my grandmother's recipe. I hope it turned out all right." Cara's eyes danced with a glimmer of warmth, touched by the effort. "I'm sure it's delicious. You know we'll devour it in no time." As Cara guided her into the house, the familiar voices of the other guests carried through the hallway. The other guests at the party hadn't seen her in a while, not since the unexpected tension between her and her sister during Cara's birthday party in June. Cara, unaware of the lingering uneasiness, attempted to ease the atmosphere with a polite yet genuine smile. "I'm glad you can make it, Rebecca. We've been waiting for you." Rebecca, still shy, returned the smile, her fingers fidgeting with the ends of her sleeves. "Thank you for inviting me. It's nice to see everyone again," she murmured. Cara tried to make her feel more comfortable. "Can I offer you a glass of wine, Rebecca?" she asked gently. Rebecca managed a small smile. "Oh, yes, please. That would be lovely," she murmured, the tension in her shoulders slightly easing under Cara's hospitality. Tanya and Nicole approached the counter to greet Rebecca where she stood, a slight tension lingering in the air. "Hey there, Rebecca. You're looking good," Tanya commented, her voice warm and inviting. Rebecca gave a shy smile, her fingers toying nervously with the hem of her sleeve. "Thanks, Tanya. You're looking nice, too." Cara returns to the counter and hands the glass to Rebecca. "Here you go, Rebecca." Rebecca takes the glass, her fingers wrapping around the stem. "Thank you." Cara hears the doorbell ring again, this time a confident, deliberate press that carried through the house. She hurried across the hallway, her steps light with anticipation. Opening the door, she found Craig and Maria. Craig in a sharp blazer, while Maria wore a flowing patterned dress. Together they offered their creations, a smoked salmon dip rich and inviting, and a charcuterie board arranged like a gallery piece. Cara ushers them inside and guides the trays to the side table by the bar, the lineup of the dishes growing into a feast of textures and colors. As Cara led Craig and Maria into the house, the others greeted them enthusiastically. Liz was the first to comment on their creations, her tone both curious and appreciative. "Smoked salmon dip and a charcuterie board? You guys came prepared." Gionni chimed in, his voice tinged with eagerness. "Looks like you guys brought my favorites." Brad, unable to resist a light-hearted jab, added with a grin. "You guys are making us look bad with all the fancy dishes." Carole, her voice warm and genuine, commented on the spread, admiring the display. "Everything looks absolutely beautiful, Maria and Craig. You guys always have such impeccable taste." As Michelle and Liz approached the gathering group in the kitchen, they noticed Rebecca, Craig, and Maria. Taking a moment to greet them, Michelle called out with a friendly wave. "Hey, you guys." Liz followed suit, her tone filled with warmth. "Hey, how's everyone doing?" Craig turned towards the girls, his smile bright. "Doing great, thanks." Maria added, "It's nice to see everyone." Rebecca shyly lifted her hand in a wave. "Hi," she murmured softly. As the conversations continued and the evening began to settle in, Cara began setting down the warm trays of food that Gionni had prepared earlier. She moved with a quiet efficiency, placing each dish with care and precision along the table. Her movements were graceful, her focus entirely devoted to her task, her gaze shifting between the food and the names written on the place cards. The sharp double tap of the bell jolted Cara from her thoughts, and she crossed the foyer with the practiced hostess's grace. Opening the door, she found Susan and Hillary framed in the porch light. Susan in a practical gray sweater, her smile warm and steady, and Hillary beside her in a cheerful polka-dot blouse. Hillary carried a basket of her famous rolls, their golden tops peeking from beneath a cloth. Susan followed with calm assurance, setting down vegan mushroom gravy. As Susan and Hillary entered the house, the others greeted them with familiar warmth, their entrance like clockwork. Michelle chuckled, shaking her head as she teased. And here come the dynamic duo, right on time, as always. Gionni, as always, approached with his signature charming smile and greeted them with a warm, "Well, look who's here!" The other guests who were scattered around the living room came over to greet Susan and Hillary with air hugs and kisses. Chris's entrance has a different rhythm than the doorbell arrivals. She saunters up the deck from the pool house, casual and unhurried, her gray blouse layered under a brown cardigan, high-rise jeans tucked neatly into black boots. The sliding door creaks softly as she steps inside, and the shift in energy draws attention almost immediately. Michelle, still the closest to the bar after setting down her wine, is the first to notice her. She lifts a hand with an easy, "Hey, Cris," that cuts through the chatter. Liz follows quickly. "Hey, look who's here." Tanya and Nicole, mid-banter, break off to wave dramatically while Brad calls out, "Straight from the pool house," which earns a ripple of laughter. Cara greets her with genuine warmth, her gaze taking in the casual elegance of Chris's outfit. "You look very nice," she notes appreciatively. Cris smiles. "Thanks, I dressed up for the occasion." Cris helps herself to a glass of sparkling water as she's talking to Tanya and Nicole. Gionni was finishing up preparations in the kitchen. He was about to take out the turkey and getting ready to serve. "Hey, babe, how many more people are we waiting for?" Gionni called out. "The turkey is almost ready to come out." Cara glances around the room, taking inventory. "I think we're just waiting on Don, Christina, and Bill. They should be here soon." Gionni grins, his enthusiasm undeterred. "Great! The more the merrier." Cara, already moving toward the door, shoots Gionni a knowing look. Cara couldn't help but smile as Don stood there, holding his scalloped potatoes in all their potatoey glory. "Don, it's good to see you, and those potatoes look amazing," she exclaimed, her tone laced with warmth. Don chuckled, a touch of pride in his voice. "I put a lot of love into them. I hope they're up to everyone's standards." Cara, knowing how much he cared about his cooking, reassured him with a smile. "I'm sure they'll be a hit. You know everyone loves your cooking." Cara led Don through the hallway, guiding him to the living room where the others had gathered. As they entered, the lively conversations filled the space with a warm energy. Liz was the first to notice Don's arrival, her voice rising above the chatter. "Hey, there's Don!" Don's booming laugh rose in response, his eyes scanning the room. "Good to see you all. Hope you're all ready for some of my famous scalloped potatoes." Liz laughed warmly. "We're always ready for your cooking, Don. It's like the star attraction." Don beamed. "Well, I do try to impress." Gionni, now joining the group, claps a friendly hand on Don's shoulder. "Look who finally decides to show up," he teased with a grin. Don's laughter booms through the room. "Hey now, I'm always fashionably late." Carla smiles warmly. "It wouldn't be the same without your grand entrance, Don." Cara began to get antsy, waiting for Christina and Bill, knowing they were usually the last to arrive. Just then, the chime of the doorbell rang out. Cara turned sharply toward the foyer, her anticipation breaking into a grin as she hurried to answer. On the porch stood Christina in a cozy, oversized sweater, and Bill beside her in a plaid vest, his grin wide and mischievous. Bill chimed in with a booming, "We're here!" that made the whole entryway ripple with laughter. Cara barely had time to laugh at Bill's booming entry before Christina's New York cadence carried across the foyer, her voice bright and unmistakable. Christina carried her bottle of apple cider sangria while Bill proudly held his dish of roasted garlic mashed potatoes, the aroma rich and inviting. Cara ushered them inside, directing their offerings to the side table by the bar, the ensemble complete. Tanya and Nicole were met with a theatrical, "Two Max? You're killing me!" as Christina leaned dramatically over their dishes. Kelly and Whitney received hugs paired with a booming, "Cornbread muffins? Forget about it!" that made half the room laugh. Don got a hearty clap on the shoulder and a, "Scalloped potatoes? You're speaking my language." Christina sweeps in with a hug, her voice ringing out as she comes closer towards Carole. "Carole, honey, navy dress, gold pendant, you look like you just stepped off of Fifth Avenue." She gives her a squeeze and immediately points towards the stuffing. "That sage mushroom? Forget about it. I'm already drooling." Bill, meanwhile, was already setting down his roasted garlic mashed potatoes, while Christina's voice carried above it all, weaving through the house like a spotlight. As the final greetings died down, Cara took a deep breath, her eyes scanning the gathering with satisfaction. It was a full house, alive with conversation and laughter. She clapped her hands together, calling out with a warm smile, "All right, everyone, I think we're finally all here. Shall we sit down for dinner? Gionni has been patiently waiting to present you all with his turkey." The gathered friends murmured their agreement, their stomachs growing in anticipation. Don, with a dramatic flourish, declared, "I was just about to ask when we'd be eating. Let's get to the food." Liz, her voice light and excited, added, "I'm starving. It smells amazing, Cara."